Oh, yeah, baby. The creative mind will always do things out of the box. Hooray! Wait a minute. Bro, you're a freaking creative mind and you're speaking to an academic mind, bro. There's no freaking way that you can ever connect. Hooray! Well, what's happening? My name is Albert. Welcome to another hang with this 61-year-old. And so today I am going to do 3 dead hang variations. One is the straight dead hang. The second one is my newest swinging dead hang with a twist. And then I came across another dead hang, man, which is rocking left to side, man. It's gonna be freaking awesome. I tried it a little bit and I was like, oh, that's another way to do the dead hang, bro. And so if you're wondering about my hat, it's 17 days before Christmas, bro. 17 more days and we're there. I'm wearing this for Anatoly and this shirt for Anatoly because I've been working out with Anatoly, and so I'm bringing humor to the table. But today I can't work out with Anatoly because I'm busted, bro. Back is feeling, my arms, my chest. I need to hang, bro. And so I'm gonna hang, but I'm also gonna talk about a topic that's gonna freaking spare me for the rest of my life from this freaking ongoing lifetime resentment I have against the academic versus the creative person in the fitness realm and everything, really. Then you want to hear what I have to say, because I need to hear what I have to say, but I'm going to do a straight hang first. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, my God. Okay, so I have no idea how long I held for, but when I do the editing, I'll put a timer and then I'll know. And so my longest hang is 1 minute and 24 seconds. Doesn't feel like I freaking passed it, but you never know, bro. Time flies sometimes. And so I'm going to talk about the freaking... Oh my God, this here is a lifesaver for me, because I've really held resentments and battles with people that are academic. Academic means that, you know, it's backed up by science and it's backed up by credentials, and, you know, I have this certification and so I have a master's in this. So what school did you go to, and your background and all that stuff, that's academic. And so, you know, I'm creative. I spent 4 decades creating music, man. And my whole life is surrounded by creativity. Everything, man. When I buy a bag, I modify it and I add all these gadgets and I sew and I do all these creative things to modify. Almost my entire life is modified, man. And so it hit me, because I get really freaking angry with these guys. Oh no, you're doing that exercise wrong, and you're supposed to do this like this, and on Mondays you do this, and it's all calculated, and that freaking bothers me. But it hit me. And I'm gonna tell you the reason How it hit me, because that's gonna come later. It comes from Lionel Richie, but I'll talk about that later. It hit me. Wait a minute, bro. You're a freaking creative mind, and you're speaking to an academic mind, bro. There's no freaking way that you can ever connect, because those are academic minds, and there's a place for an academic mind. I need an academic mind because they're business. They have their talents or they have their pros, but I am not academic. I cannot do Mondays to 20 grams. The creativity in me says, okay, let's pretend I'm supposed to take 40 grams a day. I will want to try 50, 60 just to see. And if someone says academically you do a bicep curl like this, I want to do them like this, and I want to move my arms around. And so that's the creativity in me. But I can't help it because I'm creative, but the academic mind can't do that. And that's the freaking key, that I'm not supposed to be speaking or relating to an academic mind, because they're, oh no, that's not backed by science, this is backed by science, and did you and if you want the hypertrophy, and that's all they could do. But now that I know that, I took a step back because I'm not supposed to be talking to them. I got as close as saying on this channel many times that it's not worth talking about exercise, because exercise is a physical endeavor. And so is a physicality, like to run from here over there, talking about it is very different than me actually running from here to there. Because from here to there, talking about it is just verbalization. To do it is huffing and puffing. Did I make it? How did my legs feel? My ankles, my knees, my back, the whole thing. How much sweat came out of me? Do I want to run more afterwards? How do I feel? Do I feel pumped? Do I feel energized? Did I gain momentum halfway? Do I want to run again afterwards? Those are all the things that come from the exercise that's not there just by talking about it, bro. And so I got as close to that. But here, I nailed it. I freaking nailed it, because now I know that when a person says, oh no, you're doing it wrong, that's an academic mind. And when a person says on Monday you do chest and the next day you rest, or if I say, oh, I worked out 3 days in a row, and they go, oh no, that's too much, you need to rest, and they didn't ask for the specifics, that's an academic mind. Generally, if I told someone I worked out 3 days in a row, they said, oh, but you probably overtrained, be careful. But a creative mind goes, so what did you do? Explain. What happened? How did you feel? On the second day when you worked out, what did you do? Oh, you worked out legs the first day and then worked upper body the second day. Oh, what did you do the third day that allowed you to work 3 days in a row? You see, the creative mind inquires. Inquiring means you don't know, but the academic mind knows, and they have a preconceived conception about every single thing. How much protein you should take, how much you should work out, what is overtraining, the body splits, and they categorize. CrossFit, the bodybuilding. The creative mind does not categorize. I cannot categorize, which explains why I'm not a name. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not this. I'm just exercising. I'm just freaking hanging, bro. And so there's no categorization here for creative people, but the academic mind needs to categorize. That's this, and this is that, and this is this. And the academic mind needs to calculate. You take the 10, and you do this, you do the 12 reps for that, and then you do the 15 reps for that, and then you do the 20 reps for that. But the creative mind says, I'm going to do the 12 reps, the 15 reps, the 20 reps. I'm going to flip them around and do 10 here and 12 there, and lightweight here and heavyweight there, and I'm going to mix it up. And so this clarifies, because now I know how to really just, because I know who I'm talking to now. Because a creative mind won't apply a rule book, a calculation. They won't apply a blueprint. They won't apply a practice, a method, a system. A creative mind cannot do that, because a creative mind is constantly creating. How can I do this? Like me, I'm on my third variation of dead hangs just by doing them, just freaking experimenting. I am an experimenter. And so I'm going to do now the swinging dead hang with a twist, and then I'll get back to, oh man, This right here is the reason why this topic freaking flourished. It's from Lionel Richie, and I'll get to him after I do the swinging hang. So let's get to it. 1, 2, 3. My back is getting such decompression, bro. It feels fantastic. And my shoulders are getting such a nice stretch. And I need a stretch from the freaking beating I took from Anatoly, bro. I got down, bro. I really freaking went all out with Anatoly. So I want to talk about what brought life to this topic. I'm watching the Joe Rogan show where he interviewed Lionel Richie. And so when I'm listening to him speak, he's talking about how he came from an academic background. But his experiences were not academic, which taught him something. Because he's now in front of freaking Marvin Gaye and he's watching him in amazement because the guy does not have a sheet that he's reading from. Lionel Richie said that Marvin Gaye, he has a microphone and is sitting on a couch. And things are just pouring out of him. And he's like, "You didn't prepare for this?" Lionel Richie said. And Marvin Gaye said, "No." He said, "You didn't plan or have anything?" No. He was doing it on the fly. He was writing on the fly. And a lot of it was just coming up with creative ideas, mumbling. Like, and it starts to develop from that empty area where there's no planning, there's no design, there's no method, there's no practice. It's just a creative channel. And as far as I remember from the interview, Marvin Gaye did not freaking go to school for music. And when I worked professionally, most of the people that were freaking platinum artists, they didn't go to school either. And when Lionel Richie kept on, a lot of these freaking well-known freaking geniuses, musical geniuses, they never went to school, bro. And Lionel is like making fun of the academic people. When he made hit songs, the academic will go, "Oh yeah, that augmented ninth chord for the ninth power with the augmented," and he's like, "Whatever, whatever," because we don't do that. What we do is that the ear picks up the delight of what it's hearing without any structure, without any scientific anything, no academic anything to a seventh chord with this, the augmented over here, and that has to be like that. It's all by feel and it's all by ear, and right there. I'm watching this because since I have such a history with music, I was able to connect with him, and it made sense. It made sense why these guys freaking bother me with the rules, because a creative mind cannot do A to B to C to D. It can't do that. It cannot work in a linear fashion. And this is so relieving, man, because it now spares me. Because I just came across this other guy that was like, "No, you don't work chess that way. You work chess, this is the right way." And I immediately, this guy's academic. He went to school. He's going to brag about his degrees and his certifications and where he went to school and the science says so and backed by science. He's going to be all about that. And what I did was that I just let it go. Because there's no place for a creative guy to freaking mingle with an academic guy. And it explains, a lot of my friends are academic. They see me playing the drums and they're going, "Wow." But they feel better if I told them I went to school. But they're academic prone. And the academia in them makes them think that as badass as I am playing the drums, if I say I didn't go to school, I'm not as badass anymore, because I'm supposed to go to school for them. But they can only think that way because they have academic minds. We clash immediately because the creative mind will go, what do you mean just do it that way? Combine them, do hybrid style, do shoulders and legs and core, do this and back. And we take the general things that they do and we flip it around and we turn it around and do back with chest and legs and calves and this and that. And we flip it around and they can't do it because they were not taught that way. They did not pass the exam that way. I got it, man. I freaking got it. This video here, bro, this is the best, bro, because this is gonna free me more than I'm already free. But hearing myself back is gonna free me. Now, the last thing I want to say, according to the interview with Lionel Richie, you know, there are academic musicians, right? And they'll play and they're very, very good and there's a place for them. But they're still not creative. They're playing academically, the chord, and then they're following the songs. They can read. Most of the freaking badass musicians that I know that are freaking geniuses, they can't read, bro. They just play by ear and they feel it. Jimi Hendrix is one, bro. Can't read, but he feels it. He can never set up to repeat anything because he plays by feel. And so what he delivers is his body movement and how he feels and what's going on in his life. And so he cannot do anything calculated or rehearsed. There's no rehearsal for a creative person. That's why I don't count. That's why there's no method, blueprint. There's none of that stuff here. The academic musician will ask you, well, do you know how to read? And then judge you on that and grade you on that. The takeaway is that I don't have a place. This mind, this creative system does not have a place with a structured being, with a calculated being, with science says so being. I do not have a place at all. And that frees me. Because now I know to let the academics be. Yeah, I'll use them for business. They're great for business. I'm not good at business. But now I'm totally free, man. I'm not carrying that. Oh my God, because I used to really, I couldn't stand those people. That's wrong and that's not the right exercise. And you need to do full range of motion and you need to do it like this and you need to stand straight with your back against the wall to make sure that you're doing it straight. And it's like, freaking are you crazy? Are you out of mind? And so that's that, bro. And so what I'm going to do now is the rockin' dead hang. Let's get to it. Great. Oh, yeah. Okay, straight swing. Freaking, I'm out of power, bro. But if you saw that, man, I'm rocking from side to side. It's freaking genius, man. And so, what am I here for, bro? I'm just here to, I'm going to say this real quick just to satisfy this academia thing. This is related. There's a guy, I'm not going to say his name, but he said he held a dead hang for 2 minutes and 45 seconds, but he didn't show it. All he did was show like if he was hanging, and he did the end part, and he says, wow, did I hold for that long? And I'm like, what a crock of shit, man. I've been doing dead hangs long enough to know one thing, that if you hang for that freaking long, when you let go, you're gonna be like this, bro, from freaking stiff fingers, man. They're gonna be all cramped up. You're not gonna be able to open your hands, bro. Your concern holding that long is gonna be trying to open your hand, bro. And according to what I gathered in the video, he didn't dead hang all the time. And so what he did was that he made believe that he did 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and I caught the bluff. This is the thing. When you do something and you do it regularly like I do, like the dead hang I do regularly, there's just certain things that you know. When you hang, and you could do it right now, you make a fist and you hold it for 30 seconds and then you open your hand, it's going to be very, very difficult because your hands are going to clam up. So imagine 2 minutes and 45 seconds. That's freaking nonsense. It's a lie, bro. And so that bothers me. But that bothers me. See how I said that? but I already let it go because that's the academic mind. Trying to impress, they're not honest. They want to achieve a high score because in the academia, what happens? You're graded by your score. When your score is high, you get a certain status. You become an A student, and then your status is higher, and then you pass, and then you become the honor student. And that's what they're carrying. But the creative person says, I only hung for a minute. We have more honesty within us because we're not trying to freaking impress anyone. I will be hurting myself by freaking recording a little bit and saying, look, I did 4 minutes. Just to what? To get attention from people that will believe words instead of actually the reality of seeing it, because I am recording this 100%. I'm going to talk about the last thing that, oh my God, is involving following recipes, bro. This is really great, bro. I know someone who follows recipes. I'm going to play around and then come back and end it with the recipe story. So let's get to it. Hooray! Forward swing. Swing. Alright, let me freaking hang that up, bro. That freaking feels so awesome. It's incredible. And so let me explain that. The rocking, it causes the lats to get an extra stretch because I'm rocking from side to side. I'm also pushing to make sure I maintain the swing. So there is a kind of like force to swing. And so my lats are getting an incredible stretch. And so now I'm gonna talk about the academic mind once again in regards to recipes. Because I know someone who made scallop soup for the first time. And so granted for the first time, he's following the orders of what it says in the recipe book. Now, he's giving the soup to a creative mind. And so when I taste the soup, it was really good. Except the scallops, they were all chopped up because the recipe said to dice them. So my suggestion was to put whole scallops, like chop them up some, and you get that whole thing in every scoop, and then put whole scallops. And then I said to further that, put scallops and shrimps. Or just put shrimps, or another time lobster in the same way. And his answer was, that's not what it says in the recipe book. I swear. That was his answer. He's academic. Academia style, could only think of what he reads and he has to copy. He cannot leave that area. Because if he could, he would have said, oh wow, whole scallops would have been really good. But if the recipe said put whole scallops also, he would have did it. And so that right there, I was able to tie the recipe guide that has to follow things from 1 to 10 exactly. That's it, man. This is the freedom chat where I am free from a battle that I freaking maintained without knowing it. I maintained an ongoing resentment with sturdy people like that, academic people. I didn't even know how to really say academic versus creativity because I'm not thinking that way. I'm just creative and I'm not comparing. And since I'm not academic, I don't know. And so it was Lionel Richie that brought that to the table where you have the academic and the creative mind. The creative mind will always do things out of the box. It won't be systematic, and that's so important. And so anyway, I am done.